And on the 8th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God made a farmer.
Howdy folks, Darren back with you here at Cross Timbers Farm. Welcome to 8th Day Chronicles. A little different, as you can see, we're inside. I think this is the very first video that we've recorded inside. We're actually in our farm office here in our farmhouse, and it's a very blustery cold day. And as you can see, I'm actually in the office here with a nice hot cup of coffee, and where it's nice and warm. The wind's really howling out, and it's chilly. The wind chill is getting down there, so I'm fixing to head out. It's just about a little after lunchtime, and I'm getting ready to head out in a minute and turn our chickens out to free range for the rest of the day. They should be done laying eggs, but before we go that route, I thought I would come to you and talk to you a little bit about hay. As here on our farm, we are a first generation farm, meaning that my parents nor my grandparents farmed on this property. My grandparents farmed some on the side. My paternal grandparents farmed a little bit on the side, but it was more of subsistence farming. They were farming for food for themselves. It wasn't really for a business, and they didn't farm full time. My grandparents grew up really poor, and growing what you ate was just part of it back then. It's like I've heard my dad say growing up, when he was growing up through the Great Depression, he heard everybody talking about the Great Depression and how things had really just gotten hard, and according to him, nothing was any different. Life was always that way for them. The Great Depression to them really meant nothing. They continued to live just like they always had, growing up, pretty poor. So, but in any event, we're a first generation farm, and when I was younger, I would go and help some relatives bale some hay. I didn't have any part in the baling. As young boys, our part was to walk along the field and pick up the square bales and throw them into the bed of a truck or up onto a trailer that was either being pulled by a tractor or an old pickup truck, or actually a couple times even a team of mules. So, having a hand in that part of it was non-existent for me as far as growing the hay, mowing the hay, baling the hay. We were just there as young boys, goofing off and throwing hay up into the wagon for the men to stack. So a lot of the hay stuff that we're doing is learning as we go, and we've been having our hay cut for years and been growing our own hay, which has been a real education on forages and quality forages, quality hay. It seems like when I grew up, hay was hay. There was really no such thing as a quality hay or a subpar hay unless it was moldy or wet or anything like that. The difference between the hay, I didn't even know there was one. So, when we started doing our own hay here, we established our farm and had the hay fields and the pastures. We decided we needed to cut the hay, and I started becoming a student of hay. And it's been a very long learning process. But you know, if you apply yourself to it, you can learn and you can do it. And you can learn to be a good hay producer. Matter of fact, you can learn to be an excellent hay producer if you take the time to educate yourself and put forth the effort. Okay, one thing that has really helped me over the years of learning hay and learning grasses and legumes and things of that nature, soil pH levels and things like that, has been growing our own hay and starting to learn about what is good hay and what's not. And you know, a lot of the old timers that's been doing hay for years can just walk through a hay field and you can just point, you know, like at a weed and say, hey, what is that? And they know. Right off the top of their head, they can just tell you, yeah, that's plantain, that's no good, or yes, that's good, or that's horse nettle, you need to get rid of that. This is good orchard grass, you need to be taking care of that. This is good red clover, you need to be taking care of that. If you don't know, you don't know. There's such a thing as being ignorant, and being ignorant is not a derogatory term. That just means you just don't know. Now, you can be stupid, that means you do know and you just don't care. So we don't want to be stupid about our hay. If we're ignorant about our hay, then we need to learn. And that's what I have taken up on myself and my wife, and here on our farm. Our daughter is almost done with college, and she will have a degree in animal sciences, and she studied forages and nutritional values and things of that nature extensively. So she'll be back on the farm hopefully soon, by the summer. And she's already schooled in forages and identifying forages and things a lot better than me, but I'm coming right along, I'm learning. So one of the things that has really helped me to learn hay has been quality books. And there is no substitute for a mentor, someone to take you out and show you the ins and outs of quality hay production. However, if you do not have that, that's still not an excuse. In today's world of information, there is books, there's internet, there's things where you can educate yourself to become a quality hay producer. And one of the resources that I've used to educate myself is a book. Okay, back that off where you can see it. Okay. It is a book called Southern Forages: Modern Concepts for Forage Crop Management. And this book is written by D.M. Ball, C.S. Hovland, and G.D. Lacefield. Folks, this is a fantastic book. It is a kind of a glossy, hard, it's not a hardback, but it's kind of a hard cover, real thick, glossy plastic cover. And this book is full color. As you can see the pages here, and I'll zoom in a minute and show you a few of the things about it. This book has been such a benefit to me that it's hard to describe. But just to give you a quick rundown maybe of the table of contents, you have chapters like developing a forage program, climate and soils, warm season grasses, cool season grasses, legumes, non-leguminous forbs, soil fertility, soil amendments, plant nutrition, forage crop establishment. It even goes into forage ecology, forage physiology, legume inoculations, no-till tillage planting, hay storage and feeding, hay production, forage quality, nutritional values, poisonous plants, silage, hay and baleage, hay storage, forages for beef, forages for horses, forages for goats, deer, sheep, llamas, and even for wildlife, and forages in the environment. This is an absolute fantastic resource. Just a fantastic resource. I refer to this book almost weekly at some point, it seems like. If not weekly, bi-weekly or monthly. This is an excellent book. It's a little pricey. This book is a little bit pricey. You can find this book on Amazon for about $83, and that is of this date of December of 2022. So the book's a little pricey, but I would pay it again for this book. This is a fantastic resource. Another resource that I've used to educate myself is another book that goes right along with your good grasses and legumes that you need to educate yourself on as well. Weeds. The arch enemy of all hay producers. Weeds. What's the old saying? Keep your friends close and your enemies even closer. As a hay producer, this is your enemy. Weeds. Okay. I was familiar with some of the weeds that grow in our area, but this book really helped me to identify weeds better than anything that I've studied. And it covers basically every weed that I can even think of. And toward the back it even has the grasses, which we don't consider weeds, but it still lists them, what you're going to find possibly in your pastures. Now this is a book, Weeds of the South. It is by Charles T. Bryson and Michael S. DePhillis, and the photographs by Arlen Evans. This is an absolute fantastic book. Now, both these books, Southern Forages, the one I showed you first, and Weeds of the South, these are southern or southeastern U.S. books applied to that area, but I honestly believe that you could apply these books to about any part of the country. This is a fantastic book, and I'll give you show you a couple pages out of it in a minute. Between these two books, Weeds of the South and Southern Forages, excellent resources. Excellent resources. If you are a hay producer like me, and you've always just thought hay was hay, and you let your hay pastures go, and you go out and you cut them and you bale it, and that's the end of it, and you're not even sure that there's anything past that, you need to read these. They're fantastic. Also, the Southern Forages also comes with a little pocket guide. Well, I'm not sure it comes with it. This is from the International Plant Nutrition Institute, and it's by the same authors as the Southern Forages. It's just a little pocket guide that goes through and talks about certain plants and grasses and weeds. Table of contents, it has the common and scientific names of forage grasses, legumes, and forbs. Has conversion factors for U.S. and metric unit, common weights, calibrating seeders, helpful calculations and formulas, plant characteristics, fertilization and nutrients, stand establishment, and grazing, forage quality, and hay and silage. This is a great little pocket guide you can put right in your pocket while you're in your hay field. Excellent resource. Okay, let's take a quick look inside these books, and I can kind of give you an idea of what they're like. They're fantastic. Okay folks, I've opened the Southern Forages book, and it just so happened I had this page tabbed, so I guess that's why it opened to there. One of my most used pages. If you can see, if this will focus, here is a page on red clover. Okay, red clover, and it has the scientific name. The origin was from southeastern Europe and Turkey, and it goes into a description. Has a nice color photo, has a description, primary adaptations, major uses, establishments, fertilizer that it responds to well, seasonal productions and management, has a picture of the seeds and of the lagoon. Okay, it goes through so much that it's just very, very comprehensive. Here is orchard grass, reed canary grass. It basically goes through everything. Okay, on back toward the back of the book, it actually even goes into forage crop establishments, fertility and liming, seed considerations, and into sod seeding and no-tillage planting. The book is very comprehensive. Highly recommended. Effects of grazing animals on pastures. Has very high quality photos. An excellent, excellent book. Okay, a quick look at the weeds of the South. This is also a fantastic resource. As you can see, very high quality photos. This is of bull thistle. Okay, it actually has United States map showing where it is predominantly located. It has pictures of the leaves, the flowering, how it looks in the field, habitat, habits and origins, seeding characteristics, mature plant characteristics, and special identifying features, and if it's toxic or not to livestock and humans. Excellent, excellent resource. The book also goes into the back into some the grasses. Here, there is Dallas grass, and some of these are undesirable, but it lifts them all. Here's tall fescue, as you can see. Very distinct pictures and diagrams of where it's located. An excellent, excellent resource. Between these two resources right here, you can educate yourself very well on quality hay production. Okay folks, thanks for being with us today here in the office. This is a little unusual video for us. I just wanted to share with you the benefit of these books, and as a first generation farm and a hay producer that I'm the first generation of here on this farm and in our family, that someone going from knowing nothing basically about hay to being able to produce quality hay is possible. You just got to educate yourself. You got to take the time, put in the work, and educate yourself on how to grow quality hay. And this book right here, while it is pricey, is worth every cent. This is a fantastic resource, and if you're lucky enough to have grandpa or your dad or your uncles or someone in your life that has taken you under their wing and learned you how to produce quality hay, you are extremely lucky. God bless you. I am fantastically, excitedly happy for you. However, for us that were not raised in that environment, we've had to learn ourselves. And in today's world, with the information that's there and the resources that are available, if you want to make quality hay, there's no reason you can't. You just got to educate yourself. And so that's the route I've went. We have educated ourselves through resources like this, and we are well on our way, I do believe, to making top shelf quality hay available in our area. And we will be feeding our own animals as well as selling hay. We put up enough for our own needs for the year, and all the rest is income for the farm to sell quality hay. And there's hay producers out there. There's a whole lot of what I feel are mediocre hay producers. Lots of them. However, the ones that are selling top tier A1 quality hay, the number gets really, really slim. There's very few of them. You can get middle of the road hay a lot of places. You can only get top quality hay very few places. And that's where we aim to put ourselves, in that very top tier of the best hay that our area has to offer. So we're striving for that. These resources are part of what is taking us along in that journey, and we hope that if you're a first generation farmer and you're striving to produce the best quality hay that you can, look into these resources. We make no money off these. We're not sponsored by this book or the Weeds of the South book or nothing of that nature. We're just passing along to you what has worked really well for us and what has helped us. This is one of them. So it's a little bit pricey, but if you're a farmer, hay producer, and you want to increase your knowledge to make the best hay you can, and you're starting out just like we did, and your knowledge of quality hay and what it takes to make quality hay is not up to par as ours was when we started, and you need to learn, arm yourself with these resources. Sit down at night in your recliner with a good cup of coffee and read these books. Study these. I don't just read it, I study it. Just kind of like I also do my Bible. I kind of study these books. So this stuff really gets stored away up here. I'm not the type of person who can just read something and it sticks with me. I have to kind of study it. So when I study it, it does stick with me. So I really study in these books, and maybe it'll be a help to someone that's watching our videos, and you're really wanting to up your game in hay production, small scale. You're wanting to educate yourself as best you can to produce the best hay you can for your own livestock, whether it be sheep, goats, cattle, whatever, eats hay. So thanks for being with us. We appreciate you coming along here in the office with us today. If you were here with us, I'd pour you up a cup of coffee and we would sit back and talk tractors and mini round balers and legumes and weeds. It seems like every time you start talking hay, the topic of weeds comes up. It's something we all battle as hay producers. So in any event, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it much. If you haven't, we'd really appreciate if you'd subscribe to our channel. God bless and have a good evening.